Okay, so I did go and look at some clothes, picked up some clothes. Several other items that I picked up were men's stuff. They didn't really have my size, okay? A lot of the donated clothes were really nice clothes if you were like a small, right? Um, I guess, the smaller women, uh, donated their things um, to, you know, pass them down. But, yeah. So I was feeling a little bad because, I couldn't find anything for me. Hmm. So this is Cherie. Welcome to my journey, right? Where, these women, small, medium, and extra small, they have clothes that are delicately worn and they're able to pass down. Whereas it looks like big girls, they go hard on their clothes, and their clothes are probably cheaper, so they probably are not resistant. The thread count is not good. So yeah, there's just not a lot of clothes for big girls. All right. So, you know, they asked me if I had put in a profile, and I said, yeah, I did. That's why I was wondering if they had set aside, some clothes, for big girls. And they're like, well, it's based off of the donations. We're sorry. And like, yeah, I know. You know. Then I was like, is it okay to wear, like men's clothing? And they were like, yeah, if you want to, if you can put together a men's clothing, that'll work. I was like, okay, let me at least get a couple of men's shirts, and then see if that, is something I could work out. I did find a pair of slacks, right? Now, here in Texas, oh my God, it gets hot. Right now it's already 75 degrees and we're not even in spring yet. This is not typical, okay? But it can happen. So, I did um, get a pair of tennis shoes that I thought would fit me, and I think a couple of men's shirts, like a sweater vest, a t-shirt, and like a khaki pair of pants, right? And I'll be honest, I was kicking myself, saying that you should be a common size. You should be an affordable size. Yeah, an affordable size. So, and I mean, if you think about it, men, they deny sweets They deny themselves sweets, you know, and if they do have sweets, you know, they do some rigorous, you know, training and exercise. But for the most part, most men, they stay away from sugar. So yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good that I got out of the house, you know, because you know, I've been staying in the house quite a bit lately. And since my light doesn't, you know, stay on, you know, I haven't been going out when it's dark at all. So, and since, you know, we're coming up on May again, right? We're coming up on May again. We're going to have a lot more graduates, right? Graduates of high school, graduates of college. Yeah. So, now, my daughter told me, she said, Mom, you know, apply to Whataburger. Whataburger hires everybody. I was like, what? What? So yeah, I do feel a little bad, you know, because I struggle with my weight. I do. And then when I'm not struggling with my weight, you know, even when, you know, say you're not fat, right? You still struggle with your body shape, right? Because you can be thin as a rail and people still have something to say about the shape of your body. You know, and that's kind of how people are. You know, they always got something to say. Always got something to say. So, yeah. And now that gasoline is damn near $3 and let me see what it says, $3.50. Now that gasoline is damn near $3.50, I'm like, well, shit, you know. It almost seemed like you could make it, right? It almost felt like you could make it with the gasoline being at $2.29, you know, supposedly to boost, you know, the car industry. Now, I told y'all this. I said, oh yeah, they dropped it down, you know, to boost the car industry. You know, the car industry was doing bad, you know, and now no sooner than people started feeling, you know, good about, you know, riding around and, you know, buying cars and stuff. Now we have this, you know, where gasoline is damn near $4 again. $4. So, you know, I don't know about you, but, you know, I don't want to run my vehicle down to the ground and it won't be worth it. I won't even make money. So I haven't really been thinking about, getting out here and doing the Uber thing for that reason. Because of that reason. I'm like, no. I run down my van, I won't even have this as a backup. Right? And the backup was, okay, if things get so bad, I'll need a backup and maybe have to stay in my van. Right? But the way I'm living in this house, I'm already in practice, right? I'm in practice. How much is it going to cost me for electricity? How much is it going to cost me for some water? How do you make arrangements for sewage and all of that stuff? It's like I'm already, being groomed for it. And I don't want to be groomed for it. So this one lady, she was saying that, her preference was, to be in an SUV, and I was like, yeah, but they were saying it would be harder for me to be qualified for an SUV than it would be for this van. Okay, so yeah, what is that saying? I got qualified for the van. Looks like they have a classroom at the Arboretum today, and it's sprinkling. But when you're kids, you don't care if it's sprinkling. I should get out here and walk. I should. But when I'm feeling this way, and that way, I'm like, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, and yeah. So I think tomorrow we'll get out and we'll take the piddies, to I do need to also get my free interior detailing at this place. It was given to me free, and I have until the 10th. Today's the 10th, right? Yeah, I had to go today. So I'm gonna go drop this stuff off and then take the vehicle to get an interior detailing for free. I wanted to be able to take the dogs to the vet, then get the interior detailing. That way maybe they can get every little bit of hair that kind of is out there. But I don't think that's possible now because it's 12 o'clock. Actually, it's 1 o'clock, right? Yeah, it's actually going on 1 o'clock. And the Texas Coalition, they stopped taking appointments at 12. So, I mean, they stopped taking walk-ins at 12. So yeah. I don't know what we're supposed to do when we get left behind. What are we supposed to do when we get left behind? So it looks like that Dickey's barbecue pit, they've closed. Yeah. That salon, they've closed. That pet grooming place, they've closed. What else? Yeah. That's quite a bit of closures. It's been this trip. Just thinking about how this interior detailing thing is going to go, and is it really worth it? It's worth it. I don't know why I keep making it seem like, oh, it's not worth it, but it's free, it's worth it. And you know, the fact that I won't take it is because of laziness. Like, you know, like sometimes even when stuff is given free, you know, the laziness is so abound that, you know, you can't even take advantage of, you know, the free deals or the things that you signed up for, because you're like, I really don't need it, you know, but then let's say you don't say it's laziness. Let's say you just don't care. right? So it's not laziness, you just don't care. You just don't care enough to make the effort to do this or that, right? And that was one thing that I did learn, right? On how sometimes wicked people, they care enough to make their, plan work at all costs. Because otherwise, if it doesn't work, then, they could be looking at, imprisonment and a bad record. Okay? So for them, it becomes something that they care about, very, very dearly. Okay? So I guess, some of us is going to have to learn how to care about the small things in life, Not just the big things. Yeah, of course we care about the big things. But let me go back to the house and see if I can work this out, because like I said, even if I wanted to work, and even though I might get pretty good gas mileage, right? It's going to be harder to break even when gasoline is $3.50 a gallon. Okay? So let me go do that anyway and see what it is. See what it is. Because that's the first time I've seen where they have, an automated interior detailing, right? Where you pull up and they just send it down the assembly line. And I want to see what it is. I want to see what it is, how fast it is, because it seemed like it was pretty fast. It's 249, almost universal around this place. Whereas the last time I was out and about, it was 319. And like I said, they keep making it seem like, well, it's supply and demand, but we were told that we're not really buying our gas from these oil countries, or that we don't need to. Whew. So that lady, she was wearing a mask. van is getting detailed over there. Yeah. Look, there's your tractor. All these new gadgets, I don't know how to work them. Oh, you just drop it in. Look. These new. I don't know how to do these things. Oh, it's not working. So they do the console cup holders, they do window dashboards, they do floor mats. And it said that it's $39 to get this kind of detailing done. So yeah, it's fast. You just like go down to the assembly line. It was free with this monthly membership that I got, and it expires tomorrow. Oh, Unlimited Express interior is $49.99 a month. So for $60 to $50, 50 and 30. For $80 a month, you can get your car unlimited interior and exterior wash. So, now you know, I don't know how to wash a van, completely. I barely knew how to do my SUV, and a van is going to be more difficult. But for customers and stuff, I would do that, to make sure that they feel good and that the car was clean and safe. They even like wash the console, which is nice. I tried to remove some of my personal items out of there. Like a conveyor belt. cleaner than I would have gotten it for sure. So yeah, I'm glad I got over my laziness and I came along and I got all my windows cleaned and stuff. Interior nice and expanding.